Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's analysis. As now, on the 115th episode, we are going to discuss about Aegon Targaryen II, the main antagonist in House of the Dragon. A diabolical, little, spoiled monarch who wants to officially gain power no matter the cost, even at the expense of his own family member. And this guy pretty much could be viewed in many ways as the ancestor of Joffrey Barrington. Although technically speaking they are not related at all, he pretty much behaves like Joffrey, which I already analyzed. And in this episode we're going to discuss all that we know about Aegon throughout the books and the series, to better understand him and how and why he's like this to begin with. And now, let's begin. Aegon Targaryen II was officially born around the year 113 AC to the king Viserys Targaryen I and his second wife Alicent Hightower, and of course upon his birth Tudorif being the first male born. Well, technically speaking, given the patriarchy, he was about to inherit the Iron Throne, although unfortunately he has an older half-sister, Rhaenyra Targaryen, who despite the fact that she's not a man, she is the firstborn and thus technically speaking the one who actually should inherit the throne. But nevertheless, growing up, he pretty much has developed something like a spoiled, self-centered view upon the world, especially to being expected to take the throne. He officially come into conflict with his older half-sister Rhaenyra throughout his childhood. And around the year 132 AC, as their father passed away, Aegon has become the next king of Westeros and the next lord of the Seven Kingdoms. But now he is into a full legitimacy conflict against his half-sister Rhaenyra and her children, as she wants to prove to herself that she is the one legitimately to the throne, and thus causing a Game of Thrones before the Game of Thrones between himself and his sister. And thus, a war that unfortunately in this time period, dragons were very common, and while he did have his own dragon, he unfortunately didn't stand a chance against his sister, who is a more of an expert, and he ended up being burned and injured in the process. And now, before we continue to stop and ask ourselves, is Aegon evil? And I put this question because of the fact that, well, what he does is evil. It should be noted that his behavior could be seen a bit normal by the standards of that time, given the fact that his sister too, technically speaking, is a villain, and pretty much the whole Targaryen family, as well as the other major families in Westeros, could be viewed in the same light. However, Aegon has proved himself to be a very spoiled, selfish, and self-centered and even cowardly ruler, to the point that he could make Joffrey Barrington to be like his clone. Although he is not as evil and cruel as Joffrey is a completely pure evil psychopath. Now, Aegon has proved himself to be completely unfit to rule over Westeros, and while his sister, technically speaking, is right here for the fact that she will be more capable of a ruler, he still pretty much has only proven her time and time again that she was right, as his behavior, his mannerism, and everything about him ultimately makes him completely incapable, incompetent, and a very selfish person, to the point that he pretty much takes advantage of all his subjects. And at the end of the day, the entire answer to this question is yes, Aegon is evil, but he is nowhere as evil as Joffrey. And at the end of the day, he has successfully killed his sister by burning her to death with his dragon. But even with her death, the war has continued, and her children managed to overthrow him and took the Iron Throne. So in the end, who was the Aegon Targaryen? He was nothing more but a diabolical psychopath who born into a life of luxury and selfishness, a greedy, little spoiled monarch that wanted only power no matter the cost, and a little selfish monarch that could easily be called as just another example of a pseudo-historical villain done right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and have a nice day.
Good. To war then.